just when every single time that I make a video about Boogie or something about Boogie comes up on the internet, I'm just like, man, I feel like this guy can't get any worse. I feel like all the shit that he has done in the past, how many years, since his career started to go downhill, that things for Boogie couldn't go any worse, that he himself couldn't get much of a worse person than he already is. But it seems that Boogie just keeps on surprising me even more every single goddamn time. Boogie surprises me. And today, it has come out that supposedly, and this is only like some major accusations, and they supposedly seem that they are true. Like it seems that these are 90% true, that there might only be still a 10% chance left that they aren't true. But if from the ways that the things that I have seen on Twitter and from what people are saying, and even like the evidence and the way that Boogie is acting in the podcast when all this started to come out, seems extremely sus that that all of this is true. So just to catch you up on what's going on, for 2 years now, Boogie2988 has claimed that he has been diagnosed with cancer, supposedly blood cancer, which is a very serious thing. But now, today, Destiny has supposedly exposed Boogie for not actually having cancer and lying about it this entire time.
2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer.
Confirmation.
Is this House MD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
Because it was in my blood markers, and that's pretty goddamn definitive. You can Google that, Destiny. When you have the hormones, when you have the hormone in the blood that is produced by this cancer, it's pretty goddamn definitive. It doesn't show up for just the.
So that right there is just a small little clip from the Lol Cow podcast that Boogie does with a few other friends, including Keemstar as well. And Destiny was obviously doing his normal podcast. He actually had XQC on in the background. Now, there is a full 17-minute clip of when, from the start, that Destiny joins this call to the end. And obviously, I'm not going to show that clip because that'll just make this video go on for way too fucking long. But if you want to go watch it, this guy right here, he reposted it onto Twitter. So if you want to go search this guy up and have a look at the whole entire 17-minute clip, I highly recommend you do so if you want a little bit more context and more details, and just to garner like the way that Boogie's reacting to this whole entire thing. So what Boogie's defense is trying to say is that he's saying that he has certain things, and I'm not 100% sure, like I'm not a fucking doctor, I'm not an expert when it comes to like, blood cancer or cancer in general, but Boogie is claiming that he has had the certain like things that are in his blood are the reasons why he has been diagnosed with cancer. But it seems that he's actually not confirming himself that he doesn't actually have a proper diagnosis of cancer itself. Like you can even have, like if people don't know, everyone has cancer cells in their body. It's true. Every living person has cancer cells within their body. The only reason that you develop cancer is because your immune system, and it can be hereditary, cannot fight those cancer cells where they can then become lethal. So you can have certain cells in your body that are cancer-like, but they aren't lethal to the point where you actually get diagnosed with said cancer. And it seems like Boogie's trying to take this route. They're saying like, hey, no, I have these things in my blood that actually make me have cancer. But it really just seems like he's kind of going away from this. And not only that, but he's actually been offered up to $50,000. He's been offered, I think it's like 20 or 30K by Keemstar. And then he's also been offered up to $50,000 by Mudaha to actually prove and show that he has a proper diagnosis from a doctor. But Boogie refuses to show any of that evidence.
I think this is.
What is the other reason? What is the other reason? There's already.
I would not walk away from my house. I would not walk away from 50K.
I
would not walk away. I would not walk away
from
an internet career that's going to give you revenue. That's going to give you. I would not walk away from shitting on these people and proving them wrong.
We are different people.
Yeah, you're being ridiculous.
Jim, again, since we're not live, I can say this. I've been looking for an exit plan for a while.
This is an awful exit plan.
And what really baffles me about this whole entire situation, about him being offered money and him declining it, is that this whole entire time, like all these years now, since Boogie has started to go downhill, he's talked about how he's struggling with money. I mean, I made a video about his documentary that came out last year, which I highly recommend because the guy who made that put a lot of effort into it. The editing, the filming of it is really fucking amazing. But in that, like, you know, that documentary, to a certain extent, you feel bad for Boogie, but also you don't, because it just seems like a lot of the times he tries to play the pity card and he tries to play victim in no matter what situation it is. But one thing that he was very adamant in that documentary is that he has no money. He's broke as fuck. And if you're broke as hell and someone offers you $50,000 to show that you have cancer, and this whole entire time you've been claiming that you've had cancer, why wouldn't you go ahead and show it? You're broke. You constantly state about how you need money. I mean, that was the whole entire reason why he said that he took that $10,000 to do the whole entire crypto scam that was going on a couple weeks ago. Like, that was his whole thing. That was his whole back. And he's just like, I didn't know what I was doing. Or, you know, I needed that money to pay for my cancer treatment and all this stuff. But it just seems that now with all this, it's like he was just lying. It's almost like he was using cancer as like a sympathy way to try and get people to almost feel bad for him. Not only that, but man, there's just so many like mind-blowing clips from this whole entire saga. But Boogie is also now claiming that the doctor who diagnosed him with cancer only gave Boogie a positive diagnosis for clout.
Is it possible that next time you see your doctor, you just come out and say, do I have cancer? And he says, well, no, it could turn into cancer. Is that possible?
I guess that's possible.
So
I would have a really strong case for malpractice, but I guess that's possible.
You're saying that's possible. A person that knows they have cancer would be like, no, that is not possible at all. I have cancer.
Well, I'm saying I do have cancer and know it is very unlikely, but I guess it's possible my doctor could be a fucking quack. I guess it's possible he's been lying to me for clout. I guess it's possible that he's been giving me
I don't think he's lying to you, Boogie.
I don't need. I guess that's a possibility.
By the way,
what kind of doctor would do this for clout? If a doctor had to lie to someone for supposed clout, which I mean, is this doctor even public? No, we don't know Boogie's doctor. And like, yeah, Boogie, listen, man, yes, you are internet famous, but these days you're only internet famous for all the wrong reasons. So really, a doctor to fake like a diagnosis for clout? Do you realize that if a doctor had to do that on purpose, like there's obviously been accidents in the past where a doctor has probably accidentally diagnosed something when someone doesn't have something. But if this doctor is supposedly doing it for clout and diagnosed you positive when he knew that it was actually negative, he could lose his job. He could lose his entire medical license. You really think that a doctor's actually going to do that for clout? This whole entire situation and all these clips and all these videos and even like the 17-minute clip as well of Destiny pretty much coming out and exposing Boogie for like lying about this whole entire situation, to me, it just seems very adamant that Boogie's been lying to us this whole entire time. I mean, he even has now deleted his Twitter page. That's right, his Twitter is now been deleted. And supposedly he even like took off his fucking top and started parading on the podcast, you know, about how fat he fucking is. And like I said earlier as well, is that I am no medical expert, but I have had family members who have had cancer before. I have had like family members who are around the same age as Boogie have cancer and actually die of cancer. And I have seen someone at the later stages of cancer. And I could tell you right now that if you actually had cancer for 2 years, you would look a lot worse than what Boogie does. You would look, I have seen someone with, I've seen multiple people with cancer. And yes, there's obviously different types of cancers. And obviously someone can live with a certain cancer and it's probably not as lethal as the others. But I'm just saying that I see this very unlikely that Boogie looks like he's not healthy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that he's healthy. No, Boogie's fat as fuck. And he's at an unhealthy weight, unhealthy mentally. But in terms of like, he doesn't look sick in terms of the cancer. I have seen a cancer page. I have seen a family member near the end, like who's had cancer for a long period of time. I've seen multiple family members on my mum's side who have had cancer and died from it. And this man does not seem like that at all. whatsoever. It does not seem like he has cancer. This seems extremely fucking sus. Like I said, this could all actually just be bullshit, and it could be true that Boogie has cancer. But I mean, let's be honest. From all the shit that Boogie has lied to us about in the past, how manipulative and narcissistic this man is, and always trying to play the victim in every situation that he can, lying about certain things just to make people feel sorry for him. I mean, can we honestly believe Boogie that he has had cancer after these clips have come out, after Destiny supposedly exposing Boogie for actually not having cancer, and then Boogie not coming out and showing any type of diagnosis despite being offered money? I mean, all the evidence points to is that Boogie's been lying this entire time. That's honestly what it seems. And you know what? It's fucking sad. It's sad that someone has to stoop this low just for people to feel bad for him. But I'd really like to hear what you guys have to think about this down below. Do you believe Boogie? Do you believe Destiny? Do you think Boogie's been lying this whole entire time? Like I said, I feel like it's 90% chance that Boogie's been lying to us this whole entire time. I feel like there's only a 10% chance that he hasn't actually been lying. But that's going to be it from me, guys. Peace out.